Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very second episode of the Slow Run Cast, your video gaming podcast for people who don't have enough time to play all the games they want to play, but have too much FOMO to not be thinking about gaming all the time. I'm one of your hosts, the Iraqi Balboa, Muhammad Ali, joined by my friend and co-host, the Outdoor Co, the Durweeb, the Dragon from the East, the Asian Persuasion, Derwin Luke. How's it going, my friend? How you doing?
Going good. It's been a little bit since we recorded our last episode.
Yeah, I was a little bit sick there for a week, so we kind of did the PlayStation State of Play. Then we were gonna do Sunday, but I was sick, and then we pushed it to the next Sunday. So it's been about 13 days. I'm still sick for anyone who could hear. It was like 13 days, maybe around almost 2 weeks. But yeah.
Yeah. So we have a lot of news to kind of catch up on. Our first news topic that we have is...
Hold up, dude.
What?
We didn't tell the listeners. We have a name now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, man. So we're the Slow Run Cast. So I just want to give a shout out to my friend Jawad Naveed who dropped this idea on us. We had a few names going, but we wanted to get that first episode out as soon as possible because it was the state of play. So you just showed up with all equipment. We had no name, nothing. We don't have a logo, and then we're like, okay. We thought about it, and I kind of sent it out. So, thanks, Jawad, for that name, the Slow Run Cast. It was going to be the Anti-Speed Run Cast first, but...
You mean you didn't like the Joystick Boys?
No. That was... You guys using ChatGPT for that? The Joystick Boys?
Blame that on your wife. I think she probably would have sold us on the Joystick Boys.
I think she put it on, ChatGPT or some AI, name generator thing, and it was the Joystick Boys. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, man, let's get into the news. It's been a few days, so let's we got a lot of things to talk about here.
All right, yeah. So big Ubisoft news.
Ubisoft, yeah.
Man, things are not going great there, hey?
Yeah, so basically, just to recap for anyone who doesn't know, Star Wars Outlaws came out August 30th. I think Ubisoft was betting big bucks on it. The only other big games from Ubisoft this year, or the only other games, were X-Defiant and Skull and Bones. And Skull and Bones in February. The quadruple A Skull and Bones. We all know how that went. That was a big flop. It was
free on Game Pass, and I didn't even bother downloading.
It's free on Game Pass?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Or maybe there's a trial or something. I don't know. Anyway, there was a demo or something, or there was a free beta weekend I played with my friend. There was some 10-hour trial. Anyway, that game was not it. But fast forward to August, they had Star Wars Outlaws coming out, and I'll be honest with you, usually my game senses when they tingle, I'm usually good. I got that one wrong. I was actually excited for Star Wars Outlaws. I had hope. I'm Ubi's gonna knock it out of the park. I had a friend who was just ripping me for he's bro, Star Wars Outlaws, and I was super excited. But
I think that friend was me, maybe.
Yeah,
when you told me,
you looked at me, you shaked your head because you're like, "Are you gonna get Black Myth Wukong?" I'm like, "No, bro, I'm gonna get Star Wars Outlaws." And I didn't end up buying Star Wars Outlaws after those reviews came out. But anyway, Star Wars Outlaws comes out. It's been a month or so, and It sounds like they missed the target big time. I was hearing 1 million. I think they sold 1 million copies or something.
Yeah, it definitely did not perform anywhere as good as they thought it was. They turned around and they blamed the gamers, the reviewers.
Yeah. What did they say exactly? Well, I think they were telling their investors or something. And then it got leaked out. They were saying gamers demand too much in a game or something like that. Just stepping on rakes. But yeah, so then as a result of that, they've delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows out of November into, I think, February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Is
their new release date. I think they said the game wasn't in perfect shape bug-wise, so they said we can't
I think if they released that, their expected original launch date they would have totally just bombed. Like, you can't just come out of Star Wars Outlaws and then go straight into Assassin's Creed thinking that people will forget and people will rebuy this title.
I mean, like, the thing is with Ubi, like, it's just they've had such a bad rap, especially this console generation. Like, they've just like a lot of their games. They've had some good games, I think. Like, I don't know, like sales wise, what's good or what's not, because not all that stuff's available to us. But at least like critic wise, like I know at least like they've had like I think Riders Republic got some good reviews when that came out. Mario plus Rabbids, that one got some good reviews when it came out. But then otherwise, like man, they got some games like it just like they're stepping on rakes. Like it's
I mean, you don't sell games by getting good reviews. You sell games by people buying your games.
well, that's the point. They're not getting good reviews and people aren't buying them either. And so like Ubisoft. So okay, so Star Wars Outlaws looks like it's a big flop. Apparently they're trying to patch the game really hard to fix a bunch of stuff. Um and I mean the same studio that made Outlaws, I can't remember their name off the top of my head. They have just released like Avatar, like almost
The Frontiers of Pandora.
And that one didn't sound like it made much of a no bang either. Like that was probably a big IP they're banging on. So now they're like basically it sounds like to their investors Ubisoft is in such big trouble that they're like, yo, like Assassin's Creed Shadows has to be a hit. It has to be a hit. And if we miss, like, it sounds like they're done.
Yeah. I mean, the speculation is out there for even a buyout. So that just came out, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Tencent is potentially rumored to buy out Ubisoft. That's crazy news considering how new Tencent is to the game.
I think Tencent is already a shareholder in Ubisoft.
Yeah, they own a lot of just small percentages in a lot of gaming companies in general.
I think I think it's like the biggest shareholder is what's his name? Yves Guillemot? I can't remember his name. Basically CEO.
The CEO.
It's the Guillemot family or whatever their names are. They are the biggest shareholder, and the second biggest shareholder is Tencent in Ubisoft already. So maybe just like a full buyout or something. I mean, I just think Yves has to like step down at this point. Like, I think this is under his watch as the CEO that this company's gone.
Yeah, I think they were also talking about auditing why their games are doing so bad. But I mean, what? They're just gonna find out that they're not making good games for people that want to play good games.
I mean, like everybody knows, it's like Ubisoft's rehash. Ubisoft is blow. Ubisoft is, and bro, this is coming from a guy who like a lot of my favorite games of all time are Ubisoft games, and I was a big fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, like Assassin's Creed 1 through 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, like. The thing is, it's like after a while, I just got burnout, and the writing was never good on these games. As the more and more we went, time passed, and the gameplay just kind of, they just like follow trends, and it's just like a rehash of some other games, and it's like, why would you play Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Just go play The Witcher or something, you know? Like, yeah.
Did you also hear their timeline for Assassin's Creed? They want to put out 10 games in 2 years.
Who's gonna buy 10 Assassin's Creed games in 2 years? I know they had Shadows. Well, remember when they had that Ubisoft event where they showed Mirage, Shadows, Hex, which is something to do with like witches or something, right? And then they had the Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is almost like a metaverse of Assassin's Creeds where you could like hop into different worlds. I mean, I don't know, man. Anyway, like I feel like they still make some good games, but not their big games. Their big games are always seem to be like that Prince of Persia, that 2D Prince of Persia Metroidvania earlier this year. That was apparently good, but I don't know, man. So now Assassin's Creed Shadows is February. I mean, I have a list of games that are coming out in February right now.
Yeah. They also added for pre-orders, the first expansion will be free.
Correct. Yeah, I think they said they're not doing any more of that staggered release where it's like if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get to play 3 days early.
Yep.
They took all that out, so everybody plays the same game on launch day. And yeah, like you said, I think they took that whole season pass idea out first, and then the expansion's gonna be free.
Yep.
They're really trying to get. I don't know. Here's the thing. February was a busy month. Okay. Um, or and November's a busy month. I see when people delay games to February's, I feel like February's have been the new Octobers for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like I think about so many games that just came out in like they come out in like February. They're busy freaking months for gaming. And they just moved Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, none of these games I think conflict with it directly, like Civ 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Avowed, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm not sure these are direct competitions with Assassin's Creed Shadows, but still, that's a pretty packed month.
Yeah, and then I think Dynasty Warriors is in
Just
January as well.
just a month before.
I mean, completely different game, but there's a lot to compete with for consumer dollars.
I don't know, man. I was reading the shares for Ubisoft were down to like $1, like the stock price. Like yeah,
it did drop a lot.
$1. It used to be like, bro, I'm gonna pull this up right now. Ubisoft.
It did jump with the 10-cent news though.
It jumped again. Yeah. It jumped again just recently right now. Yeah. Oh, it jumped up to 14.2 euros in. Okay, so the 10-cent news came out on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. And when it came out on Friday, just before the stock market closed, at around 3 p.m., it was sitting at 10 euros a share and jumped up to 14 by closing day on Friday.
I mean, that's a pretty substantial jump for sure.
Yeah, but it's been plummeting, man. It's not even. It's like at its lowest. I mean, at its highest, it was
30 euro, right?
Yeah,
for the highest.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. That's Ubisoft. We'll see what happens with Shadows.
Yeah, we'll see what the reviews are like. I don't know. I'm personally probably not going to pick it up.
I mean, there's the whole other thing about the controversy with the characters. People are mad about making a game finally in Japan and picking your protagonist as, I don't know, a supposed samurai of African origin. I'm not sure. Like, a lot of people were contesting the historicity of it. I haven't really looked too hard into it. I know he was like a retainer or something.
Yeah.
For some samurai lord, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
it's an interesting choice.
I think at the end of the day, people just want to play a good game. Period.
Yeah. And then yeah, but some of the hardcores were pretty mad. And then there's a female lead. They were pretty mad about that. Plus, man, Ghost of Yotai is coming out 2025. Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima already beat Assassin's Creed Shadows to the table. It is the best samurai sim game ever. If you want to be a samurai, just go play Ghost of Tsushima.
All right.
I don't know. We can move on, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a trivia question for you. Assassin's Creed Mirage came out pretty recently. There was leaks that the working title was something different. Are you aware of the working title for Assassin's Creed Mirage?
So Assassin's Creed Mirage came out in last year, 2023, in October. I know it was supposed to be DLC for Valhalla first. It was supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla, and they expanded it. And they turned it into its own thing, because the character Basim, he's in Valhalla. Oof, bro.
All right, you'll have to think about it. I'll give you the answers at the end.
Bro, I don't know. I have no idea. Assassin's Creed Arab. Assassin's Creed Middle East. Assassin's Creed Desert.
Assassin's Creed Iraqi Balboa.
Assassin's Creed Iraqi Balboa. Yeah, that's
right.
My people. That's the only video game that takes place in Iraq where you don't actually kill the Iraqis.
All right. So our next topic is the pre-order situation for PS5 Pro and PS5 anniversary consoles.
So when we filmed, they hadn't revealed those anniversary editions. Those anniversary editions, when we recorded last, they announced it 2 days later. and then the pre-orders were going up the next week. So it was there's a controller, a regular DualSense
Yep.
controller, gray. There was the DualSense Edge, which is the Pro controller, also in the PlayStation 1 Classic colors. There was a PS Portal, also in the PlayStation 1 Classic colors. There was a base PS5 Slim with the regular DualSense controller, also in
Yep.
the Classic colors. And there was a limited number serialized PS5 Pro with a DualSense Edge, a charging dock, like the PS5 charging dock,
Yep.
and a stand. And it was serialized. There was 1,230, right? Or sorry,
12,300.
Yeah. All right. So over here in Canada, we were like, how much is this thing going to cost, first of all? And are we even going to get any? So basically what happened was Walmart said, we ain't doing the 30th anniversary editions. The Pro bundle, right?
Yeah.
They said they were going to do everything else except for the Pro bundle. GameStop basically didn't do any of them and said it's going to be in store. They didn't do, not even the controller, none of that.
I did walk into a GameStop to ask about what was happening with the bundles. I don't think they really know.
They have no idea.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. And then there was Best Buy that had the everything except for Best Buy had everything. Here, I won't get to this. They had everything except for the big Pro bundle. But after the pre-orders went live by like an hour, the Pro bundle went up. And then Amazon had nothing, but it had everything except for the Pro bundle. So it was really only Best Buy. It sounds like it's only Best Buy and GameStop because actually Walmart pulled out altogether. They said, we're not going to have this Pro bundle. So I got on. Did you try? You didn't try. I was the only one who tried.
So what I was doing that day was sitting in a dentist office praying that you would get something.
Yeah, so
that's my extent of trying to get one of these Pro bundles.
So I went on at exactly 8:00, right? And I was looking through the websites, refreshing. I was following this guy on Twitter that like drops all the deets right away. I think Best Buy went up at exactly 8:00. Best Buy's website was destroyed. Oh my God, it literally would not work. I had everything in the cart and it would load. And then it just like would not get to the, like I'd get to the checkout, I put my credit card information, it would load, boot me back out and say, put in your credit card information again. So I had stuff in my cart for like an hour at this point at Best Buy. It was first, I think I put a Pro controller, then I had the regular controller, whatever. But Best Buy, again, didn't have at 8:00, didn't have the big Pro bundle. Anyway, and then Amazon, like, literally, like, went up and sold out, like, in no time. Like, it sold out. I got the update. It's like Amazon's live, and I look, and there was, like, nothing.
Yeah.
And then there was Walmart that was actually functional. So I went on Walmart's website. They had everything, except for I found the Edge. They were saying it went live. I never even saw the Edge go live. I really wanted to buy the Edge, but I didn't even see it go live, so I couldn't get an Edge from Walmart. But everything else was up for some time, and I went and I bought a controller for myself, and then I turned around and bought a controller for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, yeah, so that was fine. But then I'm sitting there. Best Buy literally puts up the Pro. I'm ready to like leave the house. I'm like, I'm done with this, right? Then they put the Pro bundle up, and I'm like, what? And I literally get on, put it in my cart, make it to the last checkout stage, and then I'm pressing like pay checkout, and it wouldn't work. Like, what's going on? And I'm seeing these Twitter updates live. It's like, I think they only had like 200 in Canada or something. And like, it's like 69 left available, 40 left. And I'm like, what's going on? Press checkout. It wouldn't work. I refreshed. I got it to that stage again. And then I realized it asks you to put in your phone number. So it sends you a verification code so it knows if you're scalp or not. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But even after that, I still got it to the last stage again, and I put in that code, and I got through, and I pressed checkout, and everything worked, and it just kept loading. It kept loading.
Yeah.
It kept loading. And they boot me out, and it's like, try again. I had to loading. And I was following the Twitter things, and it's like, all done, sold out. So,
did you hear about how Japan did their pre-orders?
Apparently, you needed 300 hours on your PSN to be able to pre-order.
there was a few conditions. I believe there was a account creation date and then the amount of hours.
Yeah, I think it was 30 between February and now or something like that.
Yeah, and man, I wish they had something like that here.
Yeah. So anyway, to be honest with you, my wife's probably happy I didn't get that thing. And honestly, man, I don't think I could justify it was like $1,400. And we'll get into the Pro just next year, but it was like, I don't even need this. This is just a serialized collector's item. This is like for something to keep for 20 years and then sell for more. But then I thought about doing that, and then my friend was telling me about the PS4 ones
Yeah.
that were also like that back in 2014. And apparently they don't really go for that much on eBay. They go for like maybe like $5,000
Yeah.
or whatever. But this was already $1,400, so it was...
Yeah, doesn't really move.
Anyway, they look
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, congratulations to anyone who got them. But
Yeah,
they look
we may
cool.
hate you a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, I got the controller, so whatever. That's a nice little controller. But speaking of the PS5 Pro, that thing, if I'm not mistaken, was literally still up for pre-order like yesterday.
yeah, I
It
think
didn't sell out.
I think they have so many at GameStop.
I don't think they're selling very good. I'm surprised. I thought that PlayStation just wouldn't make as many of them. And no, I thought PlayStation would have the foresight to realize that at this price point, which is $700, which is in Canada 960 Canadian dollars, and in some places for some reason they're selling like they're not, at least in Canada, it's a 1-to-1 conversion from USD to Canadian dollars. In like Europe and the UK, they're selling them more. They're selling them for like £700 in the UK. But the British pound is worth more than the American dollar. So they're literally like price hiking them in the UK. And then in Europe, they're doing the same thing. They're selling them for €800 when the euro is better than the US dollar. It's ridiculous. And they're doing the same thing in Japan with the yen.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm surprised they didn't get the message and realize, bro, these things are not going to sell out. Let's make less of them. Yeah.
I think they're just scared of a scalping situation all over again, and just,
Do they care?
I mean, realistically, probably not.
Let them scalp, produce more. But whatever. I don't. Again, we could. Okay, so Digital Foundry did a video.
Yeah,
You watched it all?
I watched a lot of it. I didn't watch like every single minute. I scrubbed through a lot of it.
Okay, I did the same thing. So what? Okay, the pre-orders are up. Obviously, it's not being sold out, so we could probably still get our hands on one if we change our mind. What do you think about the PS5 Pro, based on what we've seen?
I think it's still very much up in the air whether or not you should buy one. Like, we saw the video, a lot of it is in like 3 or 4 times zoom. Everything's so close up. Are you really going to notice when you're gaming on your, TV from 2 feet, 3 feet away?
There's some games. Okay, I'll try to give this thing the benefit of the doubt. There's some games that looked better. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think.
Yep.
And there's some good games that look even like crazier with the ray tracing. And I think it will foolproof any future late PS5 games that come out from running like disasters on the base PS5.
Yeah,
I could see that happening because there's been a few games that have had performance issues in the last few years, like whether it was, I think Dragon's Dogma had a little bit of some problems with frame rate and stuff like that when it came out on the PS5. So I think Dragon's Dogma is getting a good boost from this. Same with like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There was some problems with that one too.
Yeah, but I think the issue is sometimes if the games are more CPU heavy, just because the Pro didn't get a CPU at all, those games will have slight issues still, but the ones that are more GPU demanding should look better, should play better.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the tech, man, but I just listen. If this thing was the same price as the base PS5 when it came out, I'd buy it. I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
If it was 600 Canadian dollars, I'd buy it. I wouldn't think about it. If it was 700 Canadian dollars, I'd buy it. I wouldn't think about it. If it's 800, I'll think about it, but I'll probably still buy it. 960 Canadian dollars without a disc drive, without a stand. I just can't justify it, especially considering if the PS6 comes out around the same time every other console for Sony has come out, which is literally a 6 to 8 year life cycle. I just think that might as well just wait till the PS6. Sounds like if PS6 is on track to come out for, have the same life cycle as the PS4, should come out 2027.
Yeah.
Can I wait 3 years? I think I can.
3 years goes by really quick. I mean, depending on what games come out, right?
I mean, unless an absolute catastrophe, like unless a big game comes out and it runs like an absolute catastrophe on the PS5, and on the Pro it actually like looks good, maybe I'll get baited into doing that. But
yeah, I think for me, if I were to get a PS5 Pro, the only reason would be for the increased frame rate.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was hearing, I mean, wasn't Digital Foundry saying they were still thinking that GTA 6 still wouldn't be 64K?
I mean, is it better? Will it be better than the PS5 base? Probably. So, if you are looking for a smoother gaming experience, then what other option do you have other than play it on PC?
I don't know.
The other thing that was kind of a standout was apparently 8K GT7 looks amazing.
GT7 8K, baby. Do you have an 8K TV though?
I have two 4K monitors I can put side by side. Does that count?
Yeah. So you go 4 plus 4K equals 8K. Yeah.
Like how a PS3 and a PS2 together is
it's
a
PS5.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but GT looks good. I feel like it's horror games now, this console generation, that are really the tech drivers. It used to be, I feel like, racing games still are.
Yeah.
But like I feel like there's a lot of horror games that look really good, like Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I think just the whole fog effect and the lighting is so important with ray tracing, right? Like
yeah. Anyway, we could move on from PS5 Pro. We'll see. Time will tell. Maybe we'll change our minds.
I've got another trivia question for you.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're going all the way back. So PS2 launched in the year 2000, and it was the first console to have this widely known standard type connector. Do you know what that connector is?
Oh my god.
You got to think back.
Are you you're not talking about the connector for the controller? That's not a standard connector.
No.
You're talking about the connector for what connects it to the TV.
Nope.
Oh, you're talking about the connector to the power source.
I don't know. I guess you'll have to find out.
What are you talking about, man? Bro,
it is the first console to ever have this type of connector on it.
Okay.
And it is a wide standard now.
It's a wide standard now?
Yeah. Think about it. All right.
Bro, I don't know. You're going to have to, yeah.
So for the next topic, we have the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah. So, yeah, I usually don't watch the Tokyo Game Show just because I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. to watch any Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you? There's a couple of things that caught my eye, but
yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Honestly, the main thing that caught my eye, the thing that I sent you right away when I saw that it was going live, was
Kojima, baby. Kojima's back at it.
We've got basically video game Jesus, Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima, he is back with a subtle move, which I think exposes him, but it's subtle enough that I think he's still safe from the allegations, from the P. Diddy allegations. But Hideo Kojima, so they showed off more of Death Stranding. It was like Death Stranding 2 was like an hour or some.
Yeah, it was kind of a long show. Honestly, some of it wasn't game related. He showed off jackets. Did you see those jackets?
Yeah, bro, this guy,
he's a hype beast.
I swear to God, this guy Kojima. You go there and like see what his game is. Next thing you know, he's telling you about his podcast or that he wants to make movies and he hates games or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, were the jackets good?
Okay, imagine if Kanye designed jackets for video games.
Yeah. Yeah.
They sold out pretty quick
They
though.
sold out faster than the
I think
PS5
they were
Pro, that's for sure.
I think they were basically priced like a PS5 Pro too. I think it was $1,500 USD or something.
Oh.
So do you buy 2 PS5s and somehow that makes a jacket from Death Stranding?
Hideo Kojima jacket?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think we're figuring out the math on this.
Yeah. But the viewers should know what we're referencing is they were showing off the photo mode for Death Stranding 2. And the photo mode, you could get all the lady characters, the female characters in Death Stranding 2.
They're dancing around.
You get them to pose in the photo mode, and they do the poses that you want.
Okay, I only have one conversation topic for this. So we know that in the state of play that Stellar Blade is getting a photo mode.
Oh yeah, the photo.
So Death Stranding 2 versus Stellar Blade photo mode.
Which is better? Yeah.
I mean, which is better for you?
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not answering that. My wife hears these episodes. So the Death Stranding 2 photo mode is more it's
playful.
It's more playful. It's more subtle. You get the hint, but you can't. It's not enough to take anyone to a court of law. You know what I mean? You can't.
You could be playing.
You can't.
You could be playing on the TV. Your wife walks in.
You could evade any questions. You could get out scot free with that one. Like they're not. You can't get indicted on those allegations.
Those charges.
Yeah. But the Stellar Blade photo mode, bro. If your wife catches you on Stellar Blade photo mode, I'd stunt for you, bro. Go find a good lawyer. It's over. Stellar Blade photo mode. Yeah.
Did you see that link I sent you? They updated.
Oh my god.
Updated the physics.
Oh my god. I saw that.
So we get wind physics.
Oh my god.
Just think about it. A nice dress flowing in the wind. We get better body part physics.
Oh my god, Derwin, I swear to God, we're trying to keep this family friendly and we're not swearing, but I think we're gonna go down the road. This is impossible.
It's genius. You put out these physics updates, you put out a photo mode. Everybody's gonna be clocking 999 hours.
Oh my god. I think Stellar Blade's gone up higher on a lot of people's backlogs if they haven't played them already. They'd be looking for sales for that one. Yeah.
I mean, I think you had messaged me that you do want to play now, whether or not photo mode is involved.
I wanted to play because it looks like it's a good action game. Okay, all right, and because I can't play Bayonetta on anything but a Nintendo Switch, which is literally
a potato.
It'll make the Nintendo Switch explode. So I'm not like now. I just want to. That's why I want to play Stellar Blade. But anyway, speaking of Tokyo Game Show, they also had. They had like for the viewers, like for anyone who's actually like interested, I'm not too heavy on the JRPGs, but they had some stuff. They have like this Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster things going on there, and there's a couple of games that came to Game Pass. A lot of the Mana games.
StarCraft also is now included. Yeah.
StarCraft now, yeah. So Xbox is usually pretty good at going to Tokyo Game Show, but they also had that Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is the remake of the of Metal Gear Solid 2 Solid 3 from the PlayStation 2 days. So it looks good. This game's pretty high up on my list, my wish list. So yeah, nothing too much to say there, but I'm excited to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, you're remaking a game. It should look good. It's a classic, so I'll probably take a look at it. Yeah, I loved Metal Gear Solid 5. It was a great game for PS4, right? No,
PS5, 2015. It was like early, or PS4. Yeah, sorry,
yes, PS4.
It was an early 2015-ish game, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do want to play the Metal, because when I was a kid, I was kind of a little bit too young. I didn't really know what was going on, so I didn't really play any of the OG PS2 games, Metal Gear Solid games. So I do want to go back and play them. I did want to play them on that collection that they had, Volume 1. It came out last year. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews about how it performs. I'm not sure if it's patched, but I do want to play. I do want to play the first one, two, Snake Eater. Yeah, I think four is the only one that's kind of like stuck in limbo on like the PS3. I think so. I
Yeah.
think they
Is
might.
that the one with Raiden?
I don't know. I didn't play four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one is due for some sort of prequel re-release, anything.
Anyway, that's Tokyo Game Show. Yeah.
Oh, live service Horizon game. Man. So news came out this week that the next Horizon game, after the Lego one, obviously, most likely going to be a live service game. And Horizon 3 will be most likely a later release. A lot of people are working on it.
I think Jason Schreier was the one who dropped that news. I don't know if maybe it's old news and we're mistaken, but I only heard about it this week. I think I heard it from Jason Schreier. He was on some podcast or something. He was talking about his new book about Blizzard Entertainment, and he just dropped that. But I mean, what's to say, man? We literally just had this conversation yesterday at the State of Play. I mean, we just had Concord. We just they had 13. So basically, let's go back to, for any of the listeners, Jim Ryan, who was the CEO of, I think, Sony Interactive Entertainment, he was basically said they're going to do like a live service, games of a service, multiplayer game push, right? Which Sony's not really known for. Most of their games are single player, these big third person narrative, character driven single player games. They have a few games that kind of fall in the live service kind of thing, but they're still like full releases that you buy, like your Gran Turismo. Yeah, Gran Turismo is not annualized, but like it comes out every like 5 to 8 years or whatever, and they have, updates for it, or
new car packs,
and stuff like that. And you have MLB The Show, which is a annualized baseball game. But otherwise, they're not really known for their live service. So Jim Ryan said we're going to do a live service push. They bought Bungie, right? So now Destiny basically becomes it's still on all consoles or whatever, but and then Bungie was working on Marathon, and apparently like a Destiny 3. Then they said there was going to be 13 live service games or something that they were pushing for. Like, of those that we know about Helldivers 2, which came out this year.
Yeah.
Which actually was good. Concord, which, for anyone who doesn't know, is probably the biggest flop in video game history of all time. Took it off the stores. We have Fair Games, which looks like, frankly, garbage to me. I like, no interest. Like, I remember that State of Play when they had that. They were showing Concord and Fair Games. I don't know. Looks like it's some type of looter shooter or extraction shooter. I don't know. Yeah, looter shooter, I think. We have Marathon, which is coming from Bungie, which I heard is kind of being reworked. It was originally just an extraction shooter, but I heard they're freaking out because Bungie's been having their own problems, laid off like half their company this year. Said they're not going to do any more updates for Destiny 2, like the big expansions, like the final. What was the last one they did? The final something. Destiny Lightfall, Destiny something, which, like, all those big expansion packs they do every year, those, they're not doing them anymore. They're just doing updates to the game. And
what is it? The Last of Us? Was that the multiplayer?
The Last of Us multiplayer.
Yeah.
The Last of Us
canceled, right?
Game. Completely canceled. That was all Naughty Dog was working on for like 4 years, presumably. All aside from their 10 remasters and remakes. Yeah, so like seriously? You guys, and they secretly canceled like 6 of these live service games too. They secretly, just under the table, said this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you guys doing? A Horizon, like, multiplayer game?
I don't know how they're going to do it.
Is it going to be?
You're fighting machines. Are you going to be fighting machines as co-op? Like,
is it going to be like, maybe it's going to, I don't think Jason Schreier would say it's going to be a full game. If it was going to be like Ghost of Tsushima Legends, where you just have like that co-op mode.
Yeah. I don't know.
man. I don't know. I don't want to hear any more live service multiplayer thing coming out of Sony's mouth. Like it's
Yeah, and I think a lot of people aren't interested either. I took a look at the IGN poll. At the time, there was 778 votes in, and said that about 79.8% were not interested at all. At all.
79.8% were not
Or
interested.
yeah, 79.8% not interested. So, you see these numbers. Do you think that they're listening and they're going to pivot away from this?
When did Horizon Forbidden West come out? 2022?
Yeah, it was one of the earlier PS5 launch.
So that's been like 2 years. And if they were also working on the Lego game, that's some development resources. They weren't working on the VR game. I think that was another studio.
Yeah. How was the VR game?
Well, I didn't finish it. It's okay. I feel like I've kind of. It's not a bad VR game, and it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. But I'm kind of pivoting away from playing these VR games where you're in first person, all you do is shoot stuff. Because like they're all the same. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, just different skin.
Yeah, that's a different tangent. But I don't know, man. I hope they shut it down. I mean, like of all the games that we talked about, Fair Games, Concord, even Helldivers, which even though it was a good game, but if you told me you have to pick one of these and it's going to be a multiplayer game, which one do you want to play? I would have played the Last of Us multiplayer game. You know? And that one they scratched altogether. If that one's not going to make the cut, and it's already based on the previous Last of Us Part 1, the first Last of Us is multiplayer, which is, I can't remember what that mode was called. Factions, yeah. I don't want to play any of these other games. I don't want to play Concord.
Yeah.
Which that's why it failed, because nobody wanted to. I don't want to play Fair Games. I got to see Marathon, but I'm not that interested. And there's going to be no Destiny 3. And I don't want to hop on Destiny right now anyway. I just don't want to play these games. I would have played Last of Us multiplayer over any of them. And if that's not good enough to make the cut, then I don't think you guys have anything that's good enough to make the cut, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you guys got lucky with Helldivers. And for the audience, I don't even like Helldivers. I played it for like a month with my boys, or 1 month or 2 with my boys. It was really fun for like the first 2 weeks. I love like the physics mechanics, and I love the friendly fire. And then it gets like boring when you're like level 5 to like level 20, and it gets like interesting again when you get a few things, and then it gets boring again. And since then, I've heard it's been like destroyed by the developers. So
yeah,
I mean, even Helldivers, I don't even care that much about. So I don't know. I don't know, Derwin.
Yeah. I mean, I want to give it a chance because I love Horizon games, but again, like what I just don't know what you could possibly do other than you and a group of friends fighting some giant machines. Right? Like, do I get to pilot one of these giant machines? That would be kind of cool, but then that destroys the whole Horizon backstory.
Maybe it's like a co-op game?
I think that's the only other choice. I mean, I don't think you can really play sort of looter shooter with bows and arrows and weird plasma weapons.
I don't know. Like, bring back Killzone, bro. Just bring back Killzone. How about that?
That
bring
game
back
definitely deserves.
Make a good Killzone. You have Bungie now on your, what do you call it? Under your umbrella of Sony Studios. Get them to help. There you go. Or bring back, what was that Insomniac game on the PS3? Resistance.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have some IPs. I don't know. Bring back SOCOM. You know? I think they still own that IP. I could be wrong, but...
Don't quote us on that.
I don't know, man. It's whatever.
All right. Let's move on. So California passed some laws requiring digital storefronts to now change to a license branding instead of showing you're purchasing this item, you're buying this item. I love this change. Like it doesn't make sense nowadays. You aren't buying anything.
So wait, you're saying you love this change because this change is actually uh it's stating now as clear as
Yes.
day that listen, buddy, you're not actually really owning this.
Yeah.
They could take this away from you one day.
Yes, it is not in your hands. In 30 years I can still put in the CD and I can still listen to this music, but
That's true. So okay, I didn't think about it that way. For me, I was like, oh my god, this was bad news because my brain was like, I thought of it like this was saying as a disclaimer, we can screw you over if we want.
yeah.
That's the way I interpret it. But I guess what you're saying makes more sense. This is the law saying, protecting the consumer, telling them, hey, by the way, just a heads up, you're not really going to ever get to own this thing.
Yes, exactly. And I think that needs
Yeah,
to be
so-
clear for people to understand that when they buy this movie, when they buy this game, if
On a
if this-
digital storefront, if
Yeah.
this digital storefront goes away, or they take down the service, or if it no longer connects to the internet, or if there's no server, or if there's some licensing issue, or if there's, something like, they could take this away from you and you can't use it even though you paid for it.
exactly. It needs to be clear for people to understand that, you don't really own this thing.
Yeah. It's okay. It's good that I talked to you about this because the way I saw it as like a negative news story because I was like, this is just the, is it California law? This is just like California telling people, hey, we've given the green light to these people to screw you over. But I guess that's not what it is. It's the other way around. It's the California legal system saying, hey, these people can potentially screw you over in the future. So just
Yeah, and they need to be clear that you aren't owning it. You're licensing it. Yeah.
yeah. So whatever. Digital storefronts, guys. Physicals is the way to go. But now they're taking that away from us.
Yeah. And talking about screwing people.
That's a good segue. That's a good segue.
The day before developers are returning.
They're back, baby. They're back. They're back to take your money. They're back to
They
scam
made such
you.
a good game the first time around.
They're back to scam you. The day before. So if anyone doesn't know what the day before is.
This is probably the second biggest flop in video game history.
Yeah, but no, I think it's different because Concord was an honest attempt to make a video game to make money. This was just a scam from day one. It's not a flop, it's a scam. So this, I remember, I would say this and Black Myth Wukong were the two games that had like probably the most user like interaction on IGN because they would like get exclusivity rights to drop the trailers for them. So I would say like people were like, this looks so good. And then anyway, if you really want to go down a long story about the day before, I would recommend going on this YouTuber's page called Skill Up. He did a deep dive on the day before developers. I'd say like maybe earlier this year, late last year. He dropped a video about that. But he talked about the whole shenanigans. It's basically like two guys, they were trying to make this big MMO game where it kind of looks a little bit like The Last of Us. It kind of looks like, what's that Ubisoft game?
The Division.
The Division. Right? Yeah. It looks a little bit like The Division plus The Last of Us plus like
Days Gone even.
Days Gone.
Zombies.
Yeah, plus like Days Gone. Yeah, all put together and you're like in this post-apocalyptic world, but it's like an MMO and you go out and you have like a base and you fight zombies and you fight people. I mean, the first trailer looked amazing, but as their marketing kept going on, it was pretty clear to me, at least, I can't believe people actually bought this, that it was a scam, and it released as a complete scam. Like, it was just like the objects were just
they were purchased pre-made assets.
Assets, yeah,
Yes.
that's the word. Yeah. So like, and it was like empty. It was more of like an extraction shooter apparently or something.
Yeah.
It was just a scam.
Yeah. Unplayable.
Anyway,
useless.
I would go watch Skill Up's video, but apparently Skill Up was saying that these brothers were trying to, he wasn't saying they were trying to sue him. He was saying his video got flagged for some type of privacy infringement by YouTube. And the moment where it was flagged is when he shared a picture of the two guys. But the two guys put out their information publicly. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. They apparently YouTube's reviewing the video, so there's a possibility it might get partially taken down or something.
Yeah.
So maybe watch it before that happens. Yeah, they're but so basically they're back. They did a fundraiser.
Yep.
Or like a Kickstarter, a GoFundMe.
Yep. They also released a demo of their game.
What?
Yeah. Also unplayable from what I saw in terms of videos. I didn't download the demo and play it. And the kicker is they're just assets that you can buy on Unity store.
Oh my god, bro. These guys, like, what kind of freaking fraud is this? And apparently they had like volunteers working in their studio.
Yep.
They weren't paying people. Anyway,
Man.
the day before, that was a funny shit.
Don't buy it. Please don't buy it.
This is why I didn't trust Black Myth Wukong. Because Black Myth Wukong's marketing started like the same time as the day before's. And they were both supposed to be these indie games that were super ambitious, right? And then I saw them and I'm like, these are both scams. And then the day before came out to be a scam. And I'm like, watch, Black Myth's a scam. But I got that one miserably wrong.
So wrong.
Anyway, that's the day before. Yeah, watch that video. I recommend.
All right. Oh, and some weird PS5 glitch issues.
I'm calling BS, Derwin. I don't think that's a glitch. Yeah,
I don't think so either. I think they pushed it out.
So I guess we should say to the listeners what it exactly was.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of users were reporting that they were seeing outdated ads or just ads in general on their PS5 home screen for different games that they already purchased.
Yeah.
And basically the screen before you hit X and get into game.
Yeah, so if you open your PS5 and on your home screen, you see how you scroll to the game you want to play. If you highlight that game, what comes out is some type of game art in the background, right? That was the standard. But apparently this update went through, and what you would see instead in the background is either a news blog or something about the game, like patch notes or something like that, information about the game, or it'll show you like an advertisement for like a DLC or for something else. Yeah, so everybody was freaking out. They're like, Sony's trying to push this ad stuff right in our face. They're saying it was a glitch and it was a complete bug and they fixed it. I'm calling cap. I bet you they tried it out and didn't work. But thank God it's fixed. That's fixed.
And that happened about the same time as when PSN went down. I don't know if that really affected you, but
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was out for I think 24 hours or something like that real quick. And then they patched it apparently and they fixed this technical issue with the PS5 home screen with the same patch.
Hopefully, as long as it's not like what happened to the PS3.
Oh God.
Anyway.
All right.
What else do we got here for news?
I think our last story is The Last of Us Part 1 coming to PS Plus and the trailer for the season 2 TV show.
Yeah. So did you watch season 1 of course?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I watched it
so
with my
good.
wife. It was good. Yeah. Have you played both Last of Us?
Oh yeah. I've played 2. Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, season 2 might be real rough for some people.
I was reading that they might be changing the story a little bit from what the game is.
I really hope that they do? Or at least put in some previous events
I need
in between part 1 and part 2. We're not going to spoil this on here.
No.
Don't you dare.
I need to talk to you one day about your thoughts on part 2. I feel like I'm the only one of my friends who played it. And it was getting a lot of hate before it came out. And there was the leaks and stuff. But I'm just curious one day to hear your thoughts about that game. But anyway, this is season 2. I like the trailer. It looks good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to say, man.
Looks so good.
I like the casting for some of the people. I'm not sure if I really buy the casting for
Abby.
She don't look buff enough.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she
just
got John Cena in a wig.
She needs arms like yours at least.
I'm telling you, John Cena in a wig. He could have done it.
He could have been Abby.
Yeah.
The casting for listen, Bella Ramsey was a really good Ellie, but I feel like she still looks a little too young to be like older Ellie.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the other supporting cast was really good. The
I forget
I forget their names.
I forget their names.
Ellie's girlfriend looks pretty spot on.
What's her name? Yeah, she does look spot on.
Yeah, same with the Asian guy.
The Asian guy.
That
We just reduced him. I'm glad you were the one who reduced him to that and not anyone else.
honestly can't even remember his name. He shows up in obviously parts of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't too interesting, really.
Well, yeah. Let's not spoil it like we said. But I'm excited. What did they have a release date for the
Oh, I think it's 2025 for sure.
early 2025 like January like they did with the first one?
I don't know if it's early. We'll have to double check, but I'm excited for it. I've been waiting for this since season 1 came out. I binged it as hard as I could.
Yeah, me and my wife watched that. Okay. So that's it for news.
Oh, we've got a trivia question again.
Oh, we got one more.
Yeah, last one.
Yeah.
Do you know when the outbreak in The Last of Us occurred?
Oh,
the year.
Outbreak Day.
Yes.
Outbreak Day is September 26th, baby. But the year is I don't know. I'm gonna say it's after the 90s for sure. And I'm gonna say it is.
It's definitely more recent than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the same year the game came out. I'm gonna say it's 2013, September 26, 2013.
Damn, good one. That's definitely right.
Let's take a quick break, which we're gonna put some music over this, but I'm gonna go or Derwin is gonna edit this. You could just leave this in. We're gonna talk about the games that we have been playing. Yeah, so stick with us. We're back. We are back. So we are gonna discuss the games we've been playing on this playlist today. So, Derwin, my friend.
Oh man,
You got some games I want to talk to you about. But let's start first with what you're playing right now. Finally, 4 years late. Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, so I'm playing it on PC,
Ooh,
not
Elite.
PS5. Man, how did I miss this game? This looks amazing.
Bro, I don't know how you missed that.
Amazing on amazing on PC. I can't speak to the PS5 version. I'm
Bro,
sure it runs great.
I played it when it came out on PS4. It looked good on PS4. I'm sure it looked good on PC. Yeah.
Oh, the combat is so good.
Smooth. What difficulty are you playing on?
I'm just playing on the medium difficulty.
Brother.
But it's actually pretty easy. I want to bump it up.
Brother, let me tell you something. You gotta bump it up to the max. And hear me out. This is why. Now, I am also like an elitist when it comes to game difficulty, but that's not the reason. The reason is this game's difficulty works in a way where when you put it up higher, you die in less hits, but so do your enemies. So
okay.
It gives you this feeling of a real sword fight, like a Kurosawa movie. You know what I mean? It gives you this feeling that like 1-2 hits, I'm gonna kill this guy. 1-2 hits, he's gonna kill me. You boost it up to the max. You don't feel like a sponge. The enemies don't feel like a sponge. It gives you like this sensation. You know that like Ghost of Tsushima sensation when you're coming up to like fight somebody and you do the draw. You
do the
standoff. The standoff. And then you just like quiet and they go and you just like one hit them, bro. One hit them. It's nice, man. I would recommend.
All right, I'm gonna bump it up because I think it's actually pretty easy right now.
I'd bump it up to the hardest. There's a difficulty that comes out after you beat the game in New Game Plus, or unless maybe they added it so that you could play it right away from the start. I wouldn't recommend that, but the hardest one that's available. That's how I played it. It's good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All the side quests feel pretty fun.
Have you been playing Sensei Ishikawa? Have you played Sensei Ishikawa and Lady
Masako?
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm still working on right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna just slam through the main story,
no. The side quests, some of those, especially the side quests that are associated with one of the side characters, if you once you keep playing the game,
Yep.
you do a mission in that side quest, but then it like stops, and then as you progress further in the main story, another mission for that side quest that makes it opens itself up and becomes available
Oh
to
man.
play. So I would do it like as per area. It's so good. It's so good. That Ghost of Tsushima is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Oh,
I love Ghost of
so
Tsushima.
good.
Oh
Like,
man. Are you playing like a ghost or are you playing like a samurai?
oh, I'm doing a little bit of
Both?
both.
Yeah.
I kind of like the samurai way just because I'm lazy to sneak around.
Yeah, I did the samurai way just because I was like hard headed. I'm like, no, I'm a samurai. I'm not throwing smoke bombs on people and stuff. I'm like, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
And I would literally show up to a camp and just like yell at them and they'd all come out and I'd fight them all. The only thing I wish that game did differently is I wished it somehow tracked your behavior. And for the late game, I'm fine with the beginning game story being exactly the same, but maybe the late game story and the ending having different narrative like paths
Paths. Yeah.
depending on how you're behaving. I think it would have been better like that. Like if you were like being full on ghost,
Mhm.
like it represents like a
Dishonor to your original path, right?
yeah, or like the other way around. I wish it like pushed you in that direction, but it just kind of like there's a story, and regardless how you play, it plays out like that. And it's like I wish it just kind of took that in mind. I would recommend there's missions that side missions that have a blue icon on them.
Yeah.
They're called like legendary missions, and they're usually associated with fighting a legendary opponent.
Okay.
Have you done any of like the duels?
I haven't done any of the duels yet, or like
Okay.
the legendary missions. I found a few of them, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to stay off path.
I would do the legendary missions. So keep in mind the duels are different than regular combat. The duels are just regular combat, but you're usually fighting one person.
Uh-huh.
It's like a boss battle, and the camera angle slightly changes, so it gives you like a Kurosawa film feeling, and it gives you like a more intense feeling about like this duel that you're having with this
Yeah.
like this opponent. Yeah, man, I can just sit here and like sing the praises of the Ghost of Tsushima. I was preaching the Ghost of Tsushima gospel to all my friends for like years, and I still do sometimes, knowing some of them haven't played it yet.
But can you write a haiku about it?
Bro, I literally used to write haikus in my head when I was playing that game. We'd go hiking in Kananaskis, and I'd sit there and I'd write a haiku in my head, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, that game is,
Yeah,
yeah.
the music score is so good too.
Yeah.
That's definitely. I tried to play it without sound so I could, watch something on the side.
No.
It feels so wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. You have to be immersed in that.
yeah.
Which area are you in right now? Are you still
Oh,
in the
I'm still
first?
in the early area.
Yeah.
I've actually beat a few games recently. This is just the one I'm most recently
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could move on to your next game, which you just finished, which I was supposed to do my homework on before this episode because I had bought it like 2 days after the last episode, but I've been waiting on my friends to get
Yeah,
physical copies so
and
we
you
could
let
play
me
it
down.
together. Sorry, man. That is Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. Take it away.
Oh, man, I only played the campaign. I'm not a big like multiplayer guy.
Okay.
I did try and do one of the multiplayer missions with just the bots. I mean, it played basically like the campaign, but man, this was fun.
So you're playing on PC.
I am playing on
You're playing on
PC.
PC as well. And so this game has a single player campaign
Yeah.
and it has a multiplayer or a
Yeah.
single player campaign, but you can play co-op,
Yes.
and it has
And
a multiplayer component.
yeah. There's a handful of weapons for primary, secondary, and melee. I mean, I just stuck mainly to the machine guns.
Mm.
I find it just so hard to play with any of the sniper rifles. I'm sure you'll probably figure this out when
I'll
you
find out soon. So
on
just
your playthrough, but
so just for the listeners, like what is exactly the premise of this game? It's like
the premise of this game is you are a dishonored space marine brought back to fight a tyrannid swarm. And you basically kind of play out the story of Tinnitus? Yes, Tinnitus. He
Yeah.
is a ultramarine,
Okay.
which is just a deadly combat soldier.
And so this takes place in like the Warhammer 40K universe. Do you
Yeah.
know anything about that?
I have not played any of the 40K games. I'm not a big board game guy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that
So
IP.
I jumped into this like fresh, and it was still so fun.
And so what I'm seeing is it gives me like Gears of War vibes,
Oh,
plus like maybe like what's that zombie game where you're like shooting hordes of them?
Left 4 Dead or
No, DayZ is it? Or World War Z?
World War Z, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I'm getting that kind of feel with like really good graphics, like visceral combat, Gears of War chainsawing these dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely much different from Gears of War. There's
Oh,
nowhere to
really?
hide. You when you
Oh, okay,
play,
okay. I guess there's no like cover hiding.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you play, you go up and you destroy everything in your path. It
Oh.
feels so good.
And so how long is this
The
game to play?
campaign's pretty short. I
Yeah.
think it's like 20 hours or something like
Oh,
that.
20.
Yeah,
Were you playing on a harder difficulty?
no, I just picked the default difficulty. I like I said, I've never played this game before, and it was
Oh, I was reading that it was shorter than that. I heard
yeah.
it was
I
like
mean, maybe if you play like all of some of the other stuff and you like look around and try and find some of the data points, it probably will take you a little bit longer.
so that's probably what you did. This is why this
Yeah,
is the slow run
and
cast because we don't speed run games.
yeah,
These guys are chasing platinums.
and the
Uh,
the world is really nice. It's a good mix of both futuristic and kind of like
mm,
old European style. Like you get to see some of the cathedrals and stuff. Oh,
okay.
it looks so
I'll
good.
report how it looks on PS5. Hopefully I'll get my hands on it in a bit here. But yeah, no man, I'm excited.
Yeah, gameplay is really quick and you have to be aggressive. That's why I found like the sniper rifle to be a little bit slow. It doesn't really make sense that you would want to use that over anything else. But the melee weapons are so satisfying.
Oof, it looks good, man. It looks visceral.
Yeah, whenever you execute any of these opponents, it feels so good. You heal up. It's blood is everywhere.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So good.
I'm excited. Yeah, so this game came out, I think, like a couple, maybe somewhere like February, like September, like 10th or something. So
Yeah.
it's been out for about a month. Full priced game, $90. But yeah, for anyone who's like interested. But yeah, $90 Canadian dollars. I don't think anyone's listening to us outside of Canada, but 90 Canadian dollars. So yeah, man, I'm excited. This one's been on my playlist. So
Yeah, I'm glad I actually picked it up. I was a little bit hesitant about it just because I'm new to the whole franchise, but
yeah,
it's converted me.
yeah, it looks good.
I'm gonna start buying these figurines.
Oh, you're gonna start painting these figurines?
I'm gonna start painting these figurines and just play photo mode.
Where's the Warhammer 40K photo mode? Anyway,
and then the last game.
I want to talk to you about this because you went all out. Okay, so this, before you mention it, this is a game that I dropped the ball on hard. I was counting it out. I said, this is going to be a bust. This is going to be a scam. This is going to be garbage.
And you still haven't bought it.
And I still haven't bought it. And my friends unanimously, you know how unanimously I'm talking? I got a friend who does not play single player games. He doesn't even look at a single player game. He'll spit on it if he sees it. If he's not clicking heads on freaking some multiplayer shooter or it's got to be something, you know what I mean? It's got to be something multiplayer, something competitive.
Yeah.
This guy Mosey, shout out to Mosey. Mosey picked this up and played it. I had like 4 or 5 of my buddies all like I'd log on to PlayStation and they're all online, all playing this game. And I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, nah, bro, Star Wars Outlaws. That's going to be the hit. I'm saving my money for that. I'm not going to play this game. But yeah, I got it wrong and you got it right. So tell us about Black Myth Wukong.
Oh man, I wish I had bought this on PC. It looks so good on PS5. I was playing in the performance mode because any of the other modes unplayable. But
really?
Yeah, the frame rate drop was just so bad. But the performance mode does work pretty well. It's still not as smooth as I'd like, but oh man, the cutscenes so good. The stances so good. The
Cuts.
boss fights.
Yeah, but isn't it
Oh.
all boss fights? Isn't the game basically just boss rush mode?
Yeah, there are a lot of bosses. Some of them are fun to beat. Some of them you'll probably want to throw your controller at. But I thought it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, my friends all loved it. They were singing its praises.
I think I might have been one of your friends that played it the most times through.
Okay, so this guy literally tell us how many times did you New Game Plus this game?
I have beaten this game 4 times.
Oh my god, bro! This game came out August 24th. You've beaten it 4 times.
Yes, I
You're
beat it 4
crazy,
times,
bro.
and oh man.
So you've gotten all the trophies, platinum. You've beat every single boss because I know this boss. Some games it locks you out of it, right? Like
Yep.
if you go one route and you do a mission for somebody or something like that, you have a specific conversation, you fight
Yep.
someone, it locks you out from fighting a specific boss. I think.
Yeah, so you have to clear all the bosses before you fight the final boss of that area, or you're just locked out of it, and you miss the pickup or you miss whatever. The most annoying thing is if you miss one of these secret areas, you don't get to fight the secret boss. Which is
Yeah, I saw them like you're breaking down walls or something, invisible walls.
yeah, there's that one.
So okay, this game is for our listeners. What would you? It seems like it's a mashup of things.
Mhm.
It seems like it's heavily Souls inspired, right?
Yeah.
But the way thematically it looks like it's playing out, looks like maybe it's a little bit of. Well, it's not really a Sekiro because there's no parrying, right?
Yeah.
It's only dodging.
There is a way to parry in it. It's not the most
Yeah.
useful way, and you can't parry all attacks.
So would you say it's like a Souls-like action game? Is that more like it? Like I know there's like not bonfires, whatever shrines that you take rest. Yeah, you rest at and whatever, but you don't drop your currency when you die. Like you don't.
Nope.
Yeah, but the enemies reappear after you die, right?
Yes.
In the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or after you even rest at the shrine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anytime you go visit a shrine and you heal or you travel, they all respawn again. There's some that do disappear forever. But for the most part, they all do reappear. I would say this is most similar to God of War.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
action-wise, combat-wise.
Combat-wise, action-wise, closest thing is reminds me of is is God of War. You have different weapons, but in terms of when you're playing Black Myth, you have 3 types of move sets.
Okay.
And yeah, they all kind of do slightly different damage and slightly different perks. Yeah.
Okay.
Great
That's
game.
cool, yeah. So this is based on the very famous Chinese novel Journey to the West, right?
Yeah.
And this is a novel from like the 16th century.
Yeah, you can probably tell me more about it than more than me.
I'm trying to think, like, I wonder how close it is to the story. But it has some type of, thematically, there's some Buddhist references.
Yes, yeah. It's basically about the Eastern gods and the Western gods of, I guess, Asia, Buddhist
Mythology.
Belief. Yeah,
it seems like it's like a syncretic Buddhist Chinese folk religion type of mix theme, but it looks really beautiful, and I'm glad I'm sad I slept on it. I probably should have picked it up. It seems like it's the game for me, but it's gonna have to sit on the backlog and wait till I have some time to play it.
Yeah, I mean it's a long game. If you don't clear it perfectly the first time, then you're locked out of that secret boss and locked out of the actual ending. There's a lot of videos.
So you did the secret. Okay, tell me about that, because I heard that was crazy to get that secret ending. I heard it was like ridiculous. It was not reasonable.
I don't think it was that hard. I
really?
honestly thought the secret boss that you had to fight was easier than
the last
boss.
Whoa,
which is crazy for some people to say.
My buddy, shout out to Mosey. I was on Discord with him that day when he was fighting the secret boss, and Yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was easy.
Yeah, I
Sick it
don't know.
was.
I think I beat him second try the
What?
first time I had to beat him, and then
The secret boss.
yeah,
Oh my god,
yeah.
you're crazy, man. That's nuts. That's nuts. Anyway, that's Black. So that's Black Myth Wukong. You got the platinum on that.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. That's Warhammer 40K, Space Marines 2, and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I do have to say one thing about the platinum for Black Myth.
Oh my god.
And oh man, it's been bugging me since I was trying to get this platinum, and that is the stupid drop rate for items for a single player game.
It was like randomized.
It was randomized.
It seems like it's like a MMO almost.
Yep. And oh man, the amount of times you have to reload your game to fight this one enemy or to pick up this one collectible or the seed or plant. Man, like some of these, I reloaded this game for like an hour,
brother,
trying to collect it. It's a single player game. Who is literally trying to farm these things for an hour?
Bro, it takes two to tango. You're the one who's trying to get the platinum, and they're like, "We'll screw you over with it."
Oh man,
you could have just said no and refused.
No,
it's
too good of a game.
You had to get that platinum.
I mean, I was 4 playthroughs deep. There's no way I'm not getting the platinum.
That's a good point. That's a good point if you're committed that hard. Anyway, I guess I'll go quickly over the game. Well, I'm not gonna go quickly. I'm gonna rave about.
Tell me in excruciating detail because you know.
So I've been playing a few games. I recently had a kid, so I'm not really committing to anything very long. I've been playing a lot of indie games, or at least shorter AAA games. So when Warhammer came out and everybody was going crazy about that, I bought Astrobot instead. And my God, Astrobot is amazing. This game, okay, so for those who don't know, and you should know, anybody who has a PS5, I know some of you guys just bought your PS5 to go play COD or to go play your annualized sports game, and yeah, I'm ripping you one. And I have the right to rip you for this one because I was the same thing. I used to have a console and I would just buy the Call of Duty from every year and go buy FIFA or go buy whatever, right? But let me tell you something. There's better games out there, okay? You just have to widen your horizon and change your point of view. And they tried to do that for you on the PS5. And you still failed, you need to get a wellness check. But they had on every PS5 a copy of Astro's Playroom downloaded to the console. You started up your PS5, you bought it brand new, they had Astro's Playroom right there. It was a free game. It was like a shorter game that was kind of akin to a tech demo for the PlayStation 5's new technology, especially the DualSense controller. If you haven't played it, go and download it right now. If for whatever reason you deleted it, you still have it saved there, you still own it, and play it. It shows you the true power of that PlayStation, the DualSense controller, and that game was a bundle of joy. It was like 5 hours long. Astrobot is them taking it to the next level. Astrobot's them saying Astro's Playroom was good, and they also had an Astro game from before in PSVR 1. But said, let's take it to the next level. Let's do a full price $80 3D platforming game. Same thing with all the tech of the DualSense. And my God, did they blow it out of the park. This game is wonderful, okay? And I cannot recommend it enough. I love 3D platformers. I love 2D platformers as well. I think they're some of the best video games ever. I think they're basically the reason why this medium's gone as far as it has. Last year, I played Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is a 2D platformer. That was in the most packed year. That was my game of the year. And Astrobot might be just there this year as well. This game is a celebration of everything that's like Sony and PlayStation.
Minus Final Fantasy.
Minus Final Fantasy. Hopefully they come out in the DLC that's coming out. Yeah. But like, I mean, in Playroom, which is the first one download on the consoles, it's kind of like a celebration of all the Sony hardware over the years.
Yep.
So a lot of the collectibles you find are like the hardware, like, you know, over the years, the PSP, the PS1, the PS2, PS3, the different versions of them, the accessories that came with them. This one is a celebration of a lot of video game characters. Basically, you go through, it's a traditional 3D platformer. There's like 5 or 6 worlds. In each world, there's like 6 or 7 or 8 levels, and you go through the levels, and some are more minor levels, some are more major levels, and you just go to the end of the level, and your idea is you're supposed to collect these collectibles, which are bots, these stranded bots that look like you along the way. And all of them, not all of them, sorry, about half of them are cameos from like different video games. Some like Sony exclusive and some from like other franchises. Like you name it, except for Final Fantasy, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to like, I'll give you like, there's like God of War characters, there's Horizon characters, but like that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's some deep, deep cuts and there's some nostalgia in there. And I mean, I don't even want to spoil all the ones that are in there. I want you to like actually go and play it and actually go find these bots for yourself.
Which one was your favorite?
My favorite bot would have to be. Oof, this is a tough question, man. I did not prepare for this question, brother. But my favorite bot would have to be. It's got to be either Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. Okay. Or it's got to be Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3. It's got to be one of those.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think I like both those bots. The Katamari Masi bot was really cool too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think there's some. Okay, so here's the thing: you find the bot, but then also you go back to your hub world, and there's like a gacha machine that you use the currency from the world that you collect, and the gacha machine gives you either like a skin for your character,
yeah,
or like a skin for your spaceship, which is a PS5 controller, or like I can't remember, there was something. So I think those are 2 things, and then it gives you an accessory that becomes associated with a bot you found. So, for example, if you found, let's just say, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
If you find him, he'll just be standing in the world. Then you get his accessory, and now all of a sudden he's got like Ratchet in his hand, and he's rotating it, and his bolts are like falling everywhere. It's
that's a nice little detail.
Yeah. So I honestly, I want to like actually like fanboy out on all of these like characters, but like I would recommend you just play it instead and discover for yourself. It's not a very difficult 3D platformer. Actually, it's not very challenging. Neither from a finding collectibles perspective. They weren't terribly difficult to find. Actually, most levels, I would go through the level and find all the collectibles on my first try. And neither is it very difficult from like a platforming perspective. There are levels in each of the worlds there that are more challenging. So like for example, in World 1 there isn't one, but in World 2 there's like triangle levels for like this triangle symbol on the PlayStation controller. There's 4 of them. They're like challenge levels. They're like kind of like speed, and you go, and the platforming is a little bit more difficult. Then there's like a circle levels in the next world over, then there's square levels in the next world over after that, and then there's X levels. And then there's like a final challenge level as well. Those are a little bit more challenging, and I like that. I like that precision platforming as well. I like finding collectibles in a 3D world, but then I also like the precision platforming. I mean, this game was for me, and if you have kids, and like your parent, you have kids, but maybe some of the games you play is not something you want your kid to be around, or something that, or your kid's being annoying and you can't really play. I shouldn't say kids are being annoying. Kids are good, but I'm just saying if you're trying to game, but you're also trying to watch a kid, and then like there's like that conflict of like, I can't play Call of Duty and my kid's around. Either whether you want to screen them from that violence, or whether it's because you can't physically play while they're, bugging you. I cannot recommend this game enough. I played this game mostly with my 2-year-old son. He would sit in my lap. He was laughing his head off. He thought this game was wonderful. He'd literally, like, I have my console set up like in the basement, and like on a weekend, he would just like knock on the door for the basement and tell me to take him downstairs. And we'd go downstairs, turn up the console, and he was just like so excited. He didn't know what to call. He called him this guy. He would pick up the case for Astrobot and be like, this guy, and he just want to play, and he loved it so much. I'd give him the controller a little bit. He doesn't really know much, but I'd give him the controller a little bit. He'd laugh a little bit, and then when he realizes he doesn't know what he's doing, he'd give me the controller and watch me play. I can't recommend Astrobot enough.
Do you think they need to make a co-op mode for
I
this?
wish they did, because one person who I join platformers with is my wife. Like, come together. It's like where me and her could like actually spend like family time or husband wife time or couple time playing a 3D platformer. Like we did Sackboy,
Yeah.
Big Adventure together.
It Takes Two?
We did It Takes Two together. We did Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I just mentioned earlier, together. We did Untitled Goose Game together, which isn't exactly a 3D platformer. So me and her, like 3D platformer co-op, we love that. We get on that right away. So I was kind of sad that it didn't have a co-op mode. I wish I kind of played it with my wife in co-op.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed that a lot. And I'm kind of sad it doesn't have a VR mode, because I think that game would have looked amazing in VR.
I think you're just trying to justify your VR purchase.
Partially, but the first Astrobot full game, Astrobot Rescue Mission, was a VR game on PSVR 1, which I still don't know why has not been ported over to PSVR 2. That's a different story, but that should get ported to PSVR 2, and Astrobot should get a PSVR 2 port, and there should be a co-op mode added. But
would you pay for it?
A port?
A port and or a VR mode specifically for the
I think it would depend on how much it costs, but if it's like $40,
yeah,
$20, $30, 40 might be my limit. Like, I just love that game so much. I can't not sing its praises enough, and I recommend it to anyone, all ages, like all ages. Yeah, it definitely does hit a little bit more if you have PlayStation nostalgia and video game nostalgia from PS1, PS2, PS3. It hits a little bit more, for sure. But I like.
Did they do anything additional with the DualSense controllers, or are they kind of about the same in terms of feedback, or did they add anything new? For
it's more or less the same as the Playroom. There's a few additional things, and I think they took out a few things in Playroom that you played a little bit with the touchpad.
Oh yeah.
But it's like the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Astrobot. Next game I played was recently was The Plucky Squire. This game was added day one to the middle tier PS Plus subscription.
Okay.
PS Plus Extra, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So this is an indie game that I've been looking forward to a lot. It's like a top-down /2D /3D like almost kind of OG Legend of Zelda like, but that's not exactly what it is. It's like the art style is amazing. It's like you're a character in a picture book, and you just basically walk around in this world, in this picture book, and you're like going through a story. And at moments in time, you're forced out of the picture book, and then you're in the 3D world where you're in like some kid's bedroom, and you're like a little person, you know, like almost like It Takes Two.
Yeah,
you're a little person in the real world. Yeah, you're a little person in this child on this child's desk, and then you have to like get an item or something, and then hop back in the picture book. So here's the thing. This game I was looking forward to, indie game. You know me, I'm a sucker for indie games. The art style in the 2D, very beautiful, hand-drawn picture book art style. The art style in the 3D, not so much, but whatever. Doesn't look too good in 3D.
Do you think the 3D was actually needed in this game?
I think so. I think it still would have. The puzzles sometimes there's these puzzles where in the picture book you change the words in the book.
Yeah.
Because it's like a picture book and it has like lines, so you change the words around, and then you basically changes the world to like get past like a puzzle. Those are cool. Some of the stuff that involved actually going in the 3D world and turning the pages, or flipping the pages, or like closing the book so an item goes from one side to another. Those were really cool. And like the art, there's like this world where there's like all these artists and stuff like that, and you meet like Picasso, and you meet like Salvador Dali. Like all of that was like great. The concept was interesting. The like art, the puzzles, all that kind of stuff was good. But unfortunately, I hate to report that the minute to minute gameplay was just not it, man.
Yeah,
It
kind of hard
was
to keep playing.
it was kind of a drag. The combat was very not interesting. You just kind of swung your sword and hit people. They would have like different combat moves that you would get by buying from the store and like learning.
Yep.
But they really made no difference. There was like a jump and smash attack. There was like a throw your sword attack like a boomerang.
Yeah.
There was like a spinning attack that made no difference. It's not like there were some enemies weaker to others.
The combat was in 2D, I take it then?
Yeah, there was 3D
Yeah.
combat too, but yeah,
Yeah.
it it just no. Thing is, it's 2D in the picture book, but it's like top down.
Okay,
So
yeah.
really, it is like 3D, but it's like top down 3D isometric. But then it also actually changes the perspective to being 2D, like a 2D platformer.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a 2D platformer perspective, like 3D isometric perspective, and then there's like 3D like in the world perspective. It felt like a drag. It felt like to get to the good moments, it was like you're doing too much BS, and there was like lots of moments where the dialogue that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Was there any voice acting?
There was one voice actor who's the narrator of the book, and he doesn't show up for like every single text. Mostly it's just press X, and I'm not a big fan of that kind of dialogue where you just read and press X.
Yeah.
And it was like, I feel like your side characters would just keep talking to you at every page, and it would just be like not that interesting and not that, like, they could have cut that dialogue off and we still would have got the same story.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, I didn't like the combat, and it just kept dragging on. The level would feel like so long until you get to the end, and it's just the same thing over again. You just fight the same punks. So, unfortunately, its gameplay was not great. It was really buggy too. Really buggy. I didn't find any game-breaking bugs that I couldn't get past. Like, there would be some game-breaking bugs, but whatever, I would just restart my game and it would be fine. Some people literally like got bugged so hard. I was reading on Reddit that they couldn't even, like, they're stuck in a part of the game and there's like no fix. So I finished the whole game just because like this only hit me, this like dislike for it only hit me after like being 2/3 into it.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, I could tolerate this, but it's like, it's going to be a short game. But then like 2/3 into it, I'm like, this game is still dragging on. That's when I was kind of like, wow, you know what? Might as well finish it, whatever. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm almost there. So that's why. But as I was going along the game, I was kind of getting all the trophies anyway.
Yeah. It wasn't very hard platinum.
It wasn't very hard platinum, but there's this bug that has stopped me from getting the last trophy.
Ooh.
There's these things called glitch bugs. They're collectible. There's 10 of them. I had 8 out of 10. The game finished. I went to chapter select to try and get them.
Yeah.
And long story short, it's bugged whereby it doesn't remember that you got from chapter select. So I'll go find the one I'm missing in chapter 4, and then I think, great, I got 9 out of 10 bugs. Then I go to the one in chapter 6 and I get it, and it's like, great, you got 9 out of 10 bugs. I'm like, oh my god. So I was waiting for a patch to come out. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna go back and do it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go back at that point.
Yeah. Another good thing that I didn't mention about this game is its boss fights. Its boss fights are like mini games. So there's like a boss fight that's like a Tetris mini game. And there's like a boss fight that's like a rhythm-based mini game. And there's like a boss fight that looks like a Mike Tyson knockout mini game, right? And there's like a boss fight like that's a bow and arrow kind of precision shooting mini game. So, which you don't really have a bow and arrow in the game, you just had it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
anyway,
at least it kept it fresh for the different boss fights.
Yeah. So I think this game is like $40 on the PlayStation Store or $40 on the Microsoft Store. I think there's a Switch version. I believe there is a Switch version, and it's like if you have that middle tier PlayStation Extra.
Yeah, it's worth a playthrough.
It's worth a playthrough.
How many hours do you think it was?
I don't know if it's worth a playthrough. I don't know if I could recommend it that hard.
Yeah.
I think if that unless the only reason I got into it is that art style was doing something so
unique for you.
Unique for me that I had to get in on it. But if it isn't, if you look at this game and it doesn't seem like it's a game you're interested in, don't play it. It's not. It's unless you already have like you're like, if you're hearing all this and you're like,
Yeah.
I'll push through the bad combat and the dialogue and the long drags and stretches of these chapters just to see what this game is like, then do that. But otherwise, I'm not telling you that, no, this is a game you need to play. Yeah, it's probably, see, I tried to play it a little bit with my kid, and I tried to think that I would play this game the same way I played Astrobot, and it would do the same thing for him. No, it did nothing for him.
He doesn't care for the
I don't
art
know.
style.
Yeah, maybe it's like 8 to 12 hours somewhere in there. I can't.
That's fairly short.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. It still felt like a drag. But like I was saying, that like unless the art style is doing something for you or you're really interested organically, don't play it. The next one I'm gonna tell you is, even if you're not interested organically, change your mind and play it. And that is Thank Goodness You Are Here. So this game came out like, I think, the beginning of August. I was still like neck deep into Elden Ring, so whatever, I skipped over it, but I had it on my radar. So Thank Goodness You're Here is another indie game. Beautiful art style, kind of hand drawn picture book art style like this other one.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's hilarious, man. So this game is made by, I assume it's British developers. It's based in like a northern English town. All you really do is jump around and slap things. And you're this little guy who's supposed to help the town. So every time you see someone, they're like, "Oh, thank goodness you're here." And they're like, you're supposed to help them do whatever task. And you do it in the most unconventional way, but you get it done. But you're just like this little guy and you just slap things around. And it's funny. And it's actually, it looks like it's for children, but it's not. It's actually very mature content. It's hilarious, man. This game is like 4 hours for the plot. It's one of the best games I've played this year.
Did it come with your subscription?
No. This one was it's $25 or $26 Canadian on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
I think I got it on sale for like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like it's on Steam as well.
Yeah, it's on Steam. Pretty sure it's on Xbox. I don't know if it's on Switch.
Oh, it's on Nintendo Switch.
It's on Nintendo Switch. This game is, I can't recommend it enough. It's hilarious. Even if it's not the type of game you're into, it's hilarious. It's the music, the characters are so stereotypically like English, and it's just funny, the dialect and all that kind of stuff, and you just do the most goofiest things ever. Yeah, that game is great. Yeah, so thank goodness you're. Yeah, no, Plucky Squire came out on the extra subscription in like mid-September, okay. But this one I just picked up a little bit late. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. I've been playing a bunch of other like indie games. I could list them off. We don't have to go too hard into them. Like I played Vemba, which is like this cooking game based on like some South Indian cuisine specifically. It's about like an immigrant family in like Canada. It came out like last year, I think, on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would recommend that one. A Short Hike is this like pixel art game where you're like this little bird on this island, and it's like a 3D island isometric. You go around and collect things and do little side quests until you climb to the top of this mountain. So A Short Hike I would recommend. This game called Gris, Gris, Gris. It came out some time ago. I want this one specifically, like I would recommend Vemba Short Hike, and this one specifically, put it on your radar because there's their second game from the studio coming out October 15th called Neva. Bro, this game is like a puzzle platformer, but it's really soft on the platforming and the puzzles. It's not crazy precision platforming, but it's beautiful. The art style is beautiful. I cannot recommend this game enough. Pick it up. I bought it for like $5 on the PlayStation Store. So like it's super cheap.
Yeah.
And Neva's coming out, so I'm really curious to see. I also played Unpacking, which I would kind of recommend, but I don't know if it's like this game where it's like you follow this person's life and you kind of unpack things as they make moves. It's like an organization game, but it's all about like what you how you progress in life and how you like let go of things. So yeah, played Aerial Knights Never Yield. That's like a kind of a running kind of, what's that, like temple run game?
Oh yeah.
So this is this is supposed to be like almost a never-ending runner, but it isn't. There's like chapters and stuff. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this one. I know the developer, he's a single guy. He made another one, Aerial Knights We Never Yield, that came out this year. I haven't tried it. So I don't know if that one fixed a lot of the things of the first one. But yeah, I can't recommend that one. And I also played Limbo and Inside. These are classic indie games. Limbo came out like almost more than a decade ago, and Inside came out like maybe like 8 years ago now, 2016. I played Limbo a long time ago, but I never played Inside. So I'm like, you know what? Let me play Inside. I was off for 2 weeks. My wife gave birth. So I replayed Limbo again, and I loved that game. And I replayed Inside, and I played Inside, and I love that game. I cannot recommend both those games enough. They're like puzzle platformers in like a dark world. They're great. I would say Inside's actually a little bit, even though I think it's better than Limbo. It's a little bit easier than Limbo. You like die less, but still, it's the atmospheric feel of it all. So I recommend that. And then the last one that I just started recently, because they put it on PS Plus for Outbreak Day, is The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Which is the PS5 remake. I just booted that up to see how it compares to the PS4 game. I mean, it looks beautiful. I love The Last of Us, one of my favorite games too.
Yeah, I have actually booted on my PC as well. So
yeah. Anyway,
all right, quick trivia answers.
Okay, and so we'll Outbreak mode, I got right. September 26th,
2013. Assassin's Creed Mirage. The code name for it was Assassin's Creed Rift.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that.
Sure you did.
I think because there was Rift and there was Codename Red, which turned out to be Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last question is the PS2 question. So the PS2 was the first console to have a USB port.
What? It did. Oh, it did.
Yes.
Holy smokes! I just remembered that. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
It has 2 USB ports, I think. Right?
I think so. You're right.
I think it was for the camera, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Oh my god, I completely forgot. That's crazy. Anyway, folks, so thanks for joining us. We're gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna do a second episode right after this. We'll record it separately right now. And we thought, because we're right into the fall season right now, and like we're into October, we got October, November, December.
Prime Days is coming up.
Gamescom already having. Yeah, Prime Days is coming up. Gamescom already happened. Tokyo Game Show already happened. Nintendo presumably already had whatever event they were going to have for the end of this year. And we had the PlayStation State of Play a couple of weeks ago. So we know the lineup from now till December. We know a little bit of January to February, so maybe we'll leave discussing January or February till after the Game Awards in December.
Yep.
Just so we have a better idea, but we know we want to talk about all that. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you later.